Welcome to HDTV. You now rocking with your boy. Week 2. One more game tonight. I'm going to do that game separate. I'm going to do that game separate. And I'm going to do a video afterwards on the Saints. And let me see. I done forgot who playing. Bear with me, y'all. Okay, New Orleans is playing Las Vegas tonight. 8:15 Eastern is gonna be 6:15 my time. Okay, now I'm gonna go through the games that I watched. Now the other games you guys are gonna have to watch the highlights. That didn't come on my TV, and I'm not paying extra for no NFL ticket. I'm just gonna give you, what happened with the games that came on TV where I'm at. Now, the first game that came on Thursday night, and that was with Cincinnati and Cleveland. Basically, in this game, Baltimore Ravens basically showed the Cleveland Browns how to play the game. All the Cleveland Browns have to do is run the damn ball. You have Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt in the backfield. And when they ran the ball, it was hard for them to be stopped. Baker Mayfield was allowed to throw the ball on play action. Baker Mayfield is not a 30 to 40 attempt passer. He's not built that way. He's going to throw picks or he's going to mess up. You have to run first and then let him get acclimated into the game. He's not an elite quarterback, so can we stop trying to compare this guy to Brett Favre? He's not Brett Favre. He's more Jeff George or Jay Cutler. He's not Brett Favre. And that's no disrespect to those guys, but it's just the truth. We got to stop overhyping people. Now, the defense, I like the front four for the Broncos. Myles Garrett, the other two guys in the middle, I can't think of their name or number, so bear with me. In the other end, as a front four, the Browns are very dangerous. They could get to the quarterback, but if you kind of send a double team to Myles Garrett, you can nullify those other guys. Send your running back to block certain people, or go out for either a quick hitch or a quick out to throw the ball to them out the backfield, or what we like to call in football a halfback flare. So, or you could run a screen, which works a lot of times, especially against an aggressive defense. Basically, the linebackers were okay for the Browns, and the secondary was decent. I felt like Joe Burrow for the Bengals, he had too much time at times. They allowed him to get some throws off, get some passes off, but in all totality, they really played Joe Burrow good. They held him down at times to certain points. They held their offense. The offense for the Bengals was running the ball good with I think his name's McKnight. I think that was McKnight in the backfield. I may be wrong. Please don't get upset. I'm really not familiar with the roster of the Bengals or the Browns. I'm only going off the names that they promote. I think it was Joe McKnight running the ball, number 28. They need to keep feeding him the ball. Even when you're down, I like how they were giving him the ball, throwing it to him, as well as handing it off to him to kind of, get the momentum and everything going, for the Bengals to do well. I like this Bengals team. They're going to be pretty good in a couple years, 3 years. I like AJ Green and Joe Burrow. Their connection, they already having a connection going, and AJ Green finally has a quarterback who could get him the deep ball on a consistent basis. Andy Dalton could get it to him at times, but Andy Dalton didn't have the arm this kid has, or he probably had a little of the athleticism, but Burrow, I think, is a little more athletic, could move around in the pocket as well as he can sprint for first downs. And the guy got heart. He has swag. When he steps on the field, he has that presence. Something that I just don't see from Baker Mayfield. I don't see that same presence. Now, I'm not saying right now he's better, but to me, he might be better in a few years, or maybe a year, or maybe as this year unfolds, they play again. They might beat the Browns. The Bengals could have beat the Browns. They just made a few mistakes. The pick off from Burrow. I believe Burrow got picked off. I remember him getting picked off. Let me see. Like I said, I might be wrong, y'all. So don't blast me. Do not blast me, y'all. No, Burrow did not throw a pick. He threw 3 touchdowns and he threw the ball a little too much. He threw it for 61 attempts. Um, Joe Mixon, my apologies, not McKnight. It was Mixon, number 28. Mixon, they need to feed Mixon the ball a little more. I believe if they give him the ball more, it'll open the offense up more. But AJ Green, Tyler Boyd balled out. They had a good game. They lost their tight end in the game. I believe it was trying to think who that was. I think it was Uzama. I think Uzama got hurt, I believe, and other guys stepped up. But the Bengals are a young team. Now for the Browns, man, there's nothing to be excited about. I still would trade Odell Beckham. I'm sorry. I understand he got a touchdown. He broke the game kind of open, but I would get rid of Beckham because Beckham to me, I think that other guy is just as good, if not better than him. Trying to remember his name. I think it was either Hodge or Bryant. One of them receivers. I like how he runs his route. Austin Hooper was okay. But Odell Beckham Jr., man, I just don't see it. I just don't see the greatness. I've never been a fan of his. To me, he's a big crybaby. He's always whining if he don't get the ball. He cares about his individual success more than the team success. And to me, I think he's been humbled a little bit because people are showing that we really don't need you. And they don't. Jarvis Landry has always been the better receiver. Going back to LSU, Jarvis Landry was the better receiver. He just doesn't get the same publicity or the same hype as Odell because Odell is a bigger character. Odell is more marketable than Jarvis Landry. But other than that, he's not on Landry's level. And I believe the Browns would be better by doing this scheme. And this is what it is. Baker Mayfield, they basically had attempt 23 passes. I said this. If you let him attempt 15 to 25 passes, maybe 26 or 28, your team will win. That's just the facts. Your team will win. Because Baker's not a quarterback like Burrow who can throw for 60 attempts a game because he doesn't make that great of any decisions. His decision making is very poorish. To me, Jake Burrow looked better than him. It's just that Jake Burrow didn't have the running game going like the Browns had the running game going. The Browns have better running backs. They have a tandem in Kareem Hunt who had that miraculous season for the Chiefs before they lost in the playoffs to Tom Brady. But if they would have had Kareem Hunt, they would have beat the Patriots that year because Kareem Hunt was killing everybody. And Nick Chubbs, man, he's awesome. You can't take away from Nick Chubbs. This is a great duo that I feel is going to be a great duo at running back for a while. It's going to be good. A great tandem, and I look forward to watching them. Now, defensively, like I said, they're they have to play a little better. They have to get a little more pressure on the quarterback. And they're not doing that. They're not getting a lot of pressure on the QB, which is that let Burrow get them back in the game. That's why it's 35-30. But they had the game under control with the running game down late. The Browns was giving the ball more to Chubb. That's the formula for the Browns to win. All the Browns have to do is keep giving it to Chubb and Hunt and let Baker throw between 15 to 25 pass attempts, or 26 at most. Don't let him go over 30 or you're not going to win. It's going to be a long day. But that's how you play the game. That's what you need him to do. And that will show you success. But tip your hat off to the Browns. The Browns won the game. Tip your hat off to the Bengals, because the Bengals they're gonna be better than I expected. I thought they was just gonna be poorish. The game one, they had a chance to beat the Chargers. They lost because of an offensive pass interference. And then game two, they lost because they couldn't control the run game or slow down the Browns. Slow down the Browns run game, and they couldn't block Burrow as good as they should have. Myles Garrett, I believe, got a sack, and a couple guys on the D-line did their thing getting a sack. Let me see the players. I remember. Sheldon Richardson got it. Yeah, Sheldon Richardson, I remember. Yes, sir. He got a sack. He got a sack on Burrow, and so did Myles Garrett, and so did Adrian Claiborne. Those three guys were all over Burrow, and Burrow still kept his poise to not throw a pick, get the ball to his guys. So I really like the Browns, but I just don't see the Browns being better than the Steelers or the Ravens. I believe the Ravens and Steelers are going to win that division. They're going to lead that division. And I believe, I just believe the Browns, man, they're just not that awesome to me. The Browns are really slacking. They're really not that great. But if they keep running the ball and they play some defense and let Baker Mayfield manage the game, the Browns could sneak a wild card spot, maybe try to get the division. So, hey, we don't know. We're gonna wait and see, but I give this game I give it a B or B minus at worst. Some things I didn't like. I felt like the coach for the Bengals, he should have ran the ball more with Joe Mixon. Mixon was cooking on the ground when he got the ball. I think he went away. I agree with Shannon Sharp on Undisputed when he said that throwing the ball 60 sometimes. No, Joe Burrow needs to at least throw between 25 to 35 times, and Mixon needs to get the ball at least 20 to 25 times a game, and they'll be fine. The Bengals could scare some teams. I don't think they're going to win over 5, maybe 6 games, but hey, they could. They just have to keep playing and they can get better. Joe Burrow's already showing leadership. He don't accept losses. He don't like the losses. So I like that from Joe Burrow, because he's actually coming out, being a leader, being assertive, saying, look, man, this is how it needs to be. This is how I want it. I want to win. And that's respect. And he got that C on his jersey, which I also love. He's showing at a young age that he could command a group of grown men, and he could run a huddle as well as run a team. So tip your hat off to the Bengals. I give that a B or a B minus. Joe Burrow is going to be the goods. Baker Mayfield, I still believe, is overrated. I believe he's a game manager, and just be a game manager. Don't worry about it. Look, I'm about winning games and winning Super Bowls. I don't need a guy like Peyton Manning throwing 40 to 50 times a game. I need a guy like Brady who can throw 15 to 25, sometimes stretch that to 20 to 30 sometimes a game. I don't need you throwing like Joe Burrow 61 times. So they got to give the ball to the running back more for the Bengals. And for the Browns, I'm just not impressed with Baker Mayfield. I just think he's an okay quarterback. I think because he's white and he has that attitude and he talks to people any kind of way, they like that. White pink folk like them type of players. But if they were black, they'll be arrogant or cocky. So we're not gonna go down that route. I'm gonna stick to this route. Now, let's see. The next game I watched, and that was Thursday night football. Thursday night football. That was a good game. They need to have more rivalry games because that Chiefs and Texans game was terrible. All right. Trying to see what other games that came on. Okay, now Denver and Pittsburgh. I watched this game. This game was actually decent. It wasn't real cool for Denver because they lost Drew Lock. You know, Drew Lock got hurt and everything. But what this game showed me is this: Ben Roethlisberger has a receiving core. Deontay Johnson, Juju Smith-Schuster, and James Washington, Eric Ebron, those guys, and Chase Claypool. That's who I was looking for, Claypool. Those guys were saving Ben Roethlisberger. Ben Roethlisberger's done to me, man. He was throwing balls extra high, extra low, to the side. If he didn't have those receivers or the running game with Snell and with James Conner, they would have been in trouble, man. Ben Roethlisberger, yeah, he threw 41 attempts, completed 29 passes, 311 yards, 2 TDs and a pick. I mean, he did do those things, but man, Ben Roethlisberger, he also fumbled. You know, him and Benny Snell fumbled. So that's what I'm saying, is he was okay, but that defense for the Steelers is hellacious. They knocked Drew Lock out the game. I believe it was Dupree. I think Dupree knocked him the hell out. Dupree forced the fumble and interceptions. Joe Hayden got a pick. I believe that was on Driscoll, not Lock. But the Steelers look good, man. I mean, if the Steelers, they got 100 yards from Connor on 16 carries. I hope they give Connor the carries more. I would lessen Ben to at least attempt between 28 to 30 or 32 passes. I would try to make Big Ben a game manager. You have the defense. Your defense is good. They could be great. And that's facts. The Pittsburgh Steelers are really surprised me. My brother Koga, he basically said, man, I think the Steelers are going to surprise some people, and be good this year, and they are. The receiving core, they're more together. Like when AB was there, you could tell that it was jealousy from him towards the other guys because he wasn't getting the ball like that. And when he did get the ball, he tried to rub it in their face with dances like, oh, I'm doing this and doing that. And it's like, okay, calm down. But this receiving core, they're close. They're buddies. And that's what the Pittsburgh Steelers way was. Back in the day with Lynn Swann and Stallworth and those guys. And then the years with Heath Miller, Hines Ward, and what's the other guy? I can't think of the other guy's name. I think it was something Washington. I gotta go back and look. They had a continuity. The Steelers have always had continuity with their receivers or with their guys on offense. And it's the truth. They've always had that continuity. They always had that togetherness. They always played, as if, they, that they've been brothers their whole life. And that's the thing I love to see. That's what I don't see out of some other wide receiver groups. I don't see that. With the Browns, I don't see the connectivity with Jarvis or Odell or the other receivers. I see Jarvis and the other receivers being cool, but I don't see that with Odell with them guys. It's like, it's me, I'm Odell. The rest of y'all is y'all. And it's not a problem with that, but it is. In football, you need that continuity, that love, and that spirit. Because if you don't have it, it's going to mess y'all up in the long run. And Pittsburgh is together. This group, this offense, all of them look together. Even when Ben made a mistake, he owned up to it. We haven't really seen Ben a lot of times own up to his mistakes. And he owned up to some of his mistakes. Even when he threw, I believe he threw the pick. Yeah, he threw a pick. He basically, he was like, you know what, man, I'll take that. And his throws were kind of outside in, and the receivers were just bailing him out with great catch after great catch. Washington caught a nasty catch in the slot. It was beautiful. Juju caught a nasty catch and just ran over somebody to get to the end zone. You know, Juju is looking a lot better this year, man. I love how Juju playing, and those other receivers, Claypool, and what's the other guy, Johnson? Oh, man, I like them. Them guys are ballers. Also, Washington and Ebron. Ebron at the tight end was a great pickup for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I believe he played in Indianapolis. I'm not sure. I might be wrong. But, you know, Ebron is a great pickup. And that's going to help them in the long run because these guys are going to have to help Ben, man. Ben looks like he's off a little bit. Seriously, he looks like he's off a little bit. So, you know, we have to continue seeing it. Now, the Denver Broncos didn't play that bad. Driscoll threw for 18 for 34, 256 yards, 2 TDs, and an interception. Before he came in, Drew Lock wasn't really looking good. They was getting to Drew Lock. They had 1 for 5 and 20 yards, but that was the beginning of the game. The Broncos have got to get the ball to Melvin Gordon more often. It's like, come on, man. Melvin Gordon is being underutilized. You know what I'm saying? He's being underutilized. He needs to be utilized more. He needs to be given the ball at least 20 to 25 times. He needs to carry the ball. He only got 19 carries for 70 yards. If you give him some more carries, they would be able to get back in that game more, and they would have more time of possession. That's the point of football, your time of possession, and what you can do in certain moments of the game to milk the clock as well as get into the end zone or get close for a field goal. So you have to have that. And that's the problem. And that's the problem with the Broncos. Now the Broncos defense isn't that bad. Their defense is pretty good. It has been it's been very good, been decent. You know, they have a bunch of no names over there without Von Miller, but they've done well without Von Miller. You know, and and you have to take the good with the bad. Now Jeff Driscoll, he proved he could play last year with the Lions. Almost beat the Cowboys, or they did beat them last year. I forgot, but Jeff Driscoll played good. He's from Florida, and he's always been okay to me. He's never been the greatest, but he's decent. He's serviceable. But you want to try to get Drew Lock back. But until Drew Lock comes back, he should be fine. But this game here, I say I say a C plus. I didn't say a B because Ben Roethlisberger just had some throws where I was like, oh, that's ugly. Then he had some throws where it was like, okay, that's cool. And Driscoll played a good game, but I just felt like the game really didn't go the way it should have went. I think some of the coaches were calling some plays at certain times. I think they went for it a few times. It was like, what are you doing? But tip your hat off to him, man. It was okay game, wasn't all that. I have the Steelers, of course, like I said, being second in the North. I still think they're better than the Browns, and I think the Ravens are better than the Browns. And the Broncos, they're going to probably be last in the division because I have the Raiders and Chargers being better than them, also with the Chiefs. Now, the next game. What was the next game I watched? Okay, this debacle of a game. the Dallas Cowboys, the Dallas Cowboys against the Atlanta Falcons, or I should call them ATL chokes, ATL chokes, ATL chokes. They always choking. You guys had the game in hand, and y'all choked the dang game away. Matt Ryan threw 4 touchdowns and no picks, attempted 36 throws. Ty Gurley gave you something on the ground, which was 21 carries, 61 yards. He was averaging 3 yards per carry. He should have got the ball more. Receiving, Calvin Ridley and Gage and Hurst were shredding that defense. So they don't really need Julio. Julio played terrible, man. Julio was dropping passes. You know what I'm saying? Julio didn't look good to me. You know, he didn't look good at all. You feel me? So it's like, what's going on? Like, Julio was banged up the whole game and everything. So, you know what I'm saying? It's basically, you know, it's just surprising to me, like, how this defense was terrible yesterday. The Cowboys should have got blown out. They had no business being in this game. They didn't. And all these delusional Cowboy fans, you know, my brother and I, you know, we're realistic people. You know, me, I like the Cowboys with Emmitt Smith and all them because I grew up on them. I watched them. The Cowboys after that, Jimmy and all them left, I have not messed with them at all. I'll give my support, but that's it. My brother, he the same way. My brother Ed, he likes the Cowboys. He's a diehard fan. He's more diehard than I am. Me, I really don't care for this team. I haven't cared for this team in a long time. And I still don't care for this team. To me, you're paying DeMarcus Lawrence and you're paying on what's his face, Jalen Smith, all this money. They disappeared yesterday. They didn't play with no fire. It's like, dude, what are you doing out there? Jerry Jones is the James Dolan of the NFL. He's the same way. They both don't know how to either put their money on the right player or basically they just know how to implode. That's it. They just know how to implode or get in the way. And that's all they do. That's all they do is get in your way. That's it. They don't bring nothing or add nothing to your team. They don't. They don't add anything. They don't add nothing. They don't help your team or anything. Dak Prescott, why don't they play like they have him play when he's down? When Dak Prescott is down and he's playing with a rhythm or he's playing with no conscience, the man is probably the best quarterback we've seen out there. But when they play him early, which they had the 3 or 4 fumbles early, I believe, which was crazy. I believe one was called not a fumble when it was clearly a fumble. Zeke Elliott fumbled the ball, but they overturned that, gave that call to the Cowboys, and then they came back and fumbled again. So that messed them up. That put the defense in a bad position on the field, and the Falcons went and capitalized on it. You don't have the defense to just sit back and run a 4-2-5. You need to run a 4. You need to run a 4, or you need to run a 5. You need to run a 5. You need to run a 5-2-4. Hold on, that's 7. Right, you need to run a 5-2-4. That's what the Cowboys need to run, a 5-2-4. They do not need to run a 4-2-5. They need to run a 5-2-4. They need to have 5 linemen up front controlling the line of scrimmage and rushing. And those 2 linebackers, you need to protect them. Jalen Smith isn't Ray Lewis. He's not a big type of linebacker where he could take on blocks all the time. You need him flying. Him and number 48, they need to fly to the ball. You're running a defense that's predicated against a pass team, but at the same time, they can rush too. They can rush too. They can run the ball as well. And you're running a 4-2-5, your DBs aren't that strong. So I would run a 5-2-4 certain plays, which could get pressure, collapse the pocket, as well as help you in pass coverage. Or you could have ran a regular 4-3-4. Or you could have ran a 3-2-5 if you're going to do that. I mean a 3-2. I mean a 3. You could have ran a 3-3-5, I believe. Yeah, you could have ran a 3-3-5. That's what I would have did. If you're going to do that, at least have you some linebackers or somebody out there, because your D line is not that good. But I don't think they had that many linebackers, because Van Der Esch and Sean, and they need to get rid of Sean Lee, man. When are y'all going to get rid of Sean Lee? Sean Lee, all he do is get hurt. That's it. That's all he do is get hurt. That's all he does is get hurt. He's a waste of space. Go get you a real linebacker. Go get you some real defensive players. Go get you some real safeties. The safeties are so terrible, it's not even funny. The corners did their best, but it's only so much the corners could do. They're going against 3 or 4 receivers who's gutting you. Your safeties have to play well. Your dime and your nickel backers, they have to wake the hell up. They're playing like they're lost out there. And plus, you need to blitz more. If you don't have a team that's good at just sitting back and attacking, not attacking, but sitting back and playing their game and everything, tackling and attacking and going at the gaps, then you got to blitz, man. You got to blitz the damn ball. You have to blitz their offense. You got to blitz. It's nothing wrong with blitzing. Blitzing can stop the run from going up the A to B or the C gap. And plus, what blitzing does, it bounces the ball outside. Your strength is outside. Your strength is not inside, because your safeties and inside linebackers suck. They're not stopping anybody. They're not. They don't stop anybody. Dak Prescott yesterday threw for 47 attempts, 450 yards, and 1 TD. He had 3 touchdowns on the ground. Zeke had 22 carries for 89 yards, a TD, which is great. But Zeke needs to have between 25 to 30 rush attempts a game. And Dak needs to throw the ball between 20 to 28, maybe 30. 20 to 30 attempts a game. That's it. You don't need Dak doing 35, 40. No. That is a recipe for losing and desperately trying to depend on him. And your offensive line sucks. Dak might not make it past week 5 or 6. I don't think he's going to make it. He's getting hit too much. Now, if you roll them out more, run more waggles, run more spread options and plays like that, look at what Baltimore's doing with Lamar Jackson. Lamar's not even nearly the thrower that Dak is from the pocket. But you know what he's great at? He knows how to step up in the pocket. He keeps his calm because they're running the play. They're running his offense. You need to run a better offense for Dak Prescott. And you started seeing that in the second quarter to the second half. They started opening the playbook up for Dak. And Dak looked it sharp. What is the problem with getting Dak going early? You guys want to run the ball early all the time. You can run the ball, but implement something different. You guys are playing like you're still being coached by Jason Garrett. Seriously. And the discipline is terrible. You can't have 3 or 4 early fumbles and think you would lose that game if you played Baltimore, Kansas City, the Patriots, the Seahawks. The Cowboys would lose. I don't even see this team really winning but 7, maybe 8 games. I don't see it. They could sneak and win 9 or 10, but it depends on who they play. But this team's not going to no Super Bowl. Like, that's ludicrous if you think this team going to the Super Bowl, fans. Seriously. Seriously, that's terrible if you think they're going to the Super Bowl, because I don't see it. I see this team is probably barely winning the East, because the Eagles looked terrible yesterday from watching the highlights and everything and listening to the commentators saying that they're terrible, and Eagles fans coming to my page saying, man, F Wentz. When just a year ago you guys said he's a top 100 quarterback. He's in the top 100. He's in the top 50 or 30. He should be better than Dak. Well, so far in their careers, Dak has been better than Carson Wentz. I'm sorry. And I'm fair because I love Carson Wentz and I love Dak. I think they're both overly criticized. But Carson Wentz gets hurt too much. And Carson Wentz has not shown the growth in throwing the ball outside the numbers, outside the hashes. To me, Dak has been better than him at that. I think if Dak had a Doug Peterson type ran offense, Dak would be having better numbers every day. But with these guys, they're playing as if Dak is illiterate or they're scared for him to make a mistake. He's not Tony Romo. Dak makes better decisions. Romo used to play all the time as if this is his last game, he about to get pulled. And that's not what you want out of your quarterback. Dallas' problem has always been their defense. Their defense has always been their problem. Now, wide receiver, Amari Cooper has been overpaid. I would have let Amari Cooper go. He is soft. He only shows up once in a while. CeeDee Lamb, I say by week 5, maybe before that, is going to be the starting wide receiver. He's going to be the starting wide receiver. I would just give him the nod. He's a better route runner than me than Amari. He makes better plays with the ball in his hand than Amari. Amari, there is something wrong with Amari. I don't know what it is, but Amari's hurt. He got to be, because he is playing real soft, and he's not able to get off of jam coverage like he used to. Now, that one-handed catch Amari had, that was clean when he pulled it in. That was nice. Now, the last play was CeeDee Lamb when he got him in field goal position. He did offensive pass interference. You got to admit that. He threw the guy like 300-400 yards, but they're not going to call that play. Falcons, y'all had a chance to jump on the goddamn ball. Y'all let the ball spin and put y'all in a trance. And y'all lost it. Y'all basically just lost your way. And I'm like, what the hell is y'all doing? What are you doing? All you had to do is jump on the ball, but I guess how the ball was kicked, they didn't know what to do. They were lost. They were lost. They didn't know what it was. They was like, what type of sorcery is this? Back up. Don't touch it. It might hurt you. Man, the dude for the Cowboys ran in and said, give me that. Our ball. So was this a game? This game, I give it a D. This game was terrible. The Falcons played good for the first half, but they choked the game away. This game was like a D or a D plus, maybe a D minus. This was a trash game. If not for Dak pulling a comeback out his butt, Dallas would have lost this game. And Dak got hurt. He had a concussion protocol. He got sprayed. The Falcons defense, that front seven is ruthless, man. What's that number? What's that dude name on defense? I cannot think of his name. I think it's Olukun. Yeah, Olukun. Man, Olukun and KZ and Denop, man, they were spraying the Cowboys. And then they got Dante Fowler. You know, that's my little brother's cousin, Dante Fowler. Where was he? I didn't see him nowhere. I didn't see no pass. I seen them pass rushing. They were killing Dak. I didn't see them late in the game. They basically was nullified. You should have been killing that line the whole game. Dak ran. They finally let Dak run on the goal line and get his touchdowns. If Dak isn't throwing a touchdown, use his legs. Do what the Patriots did with Cam. Do what the Ravens do with Lamar. Do what the Seahawks do with Russell. Let him use his legs. Stop keeping Dak in a box. You guys are keeping Dak in a box. That's why I hope he lead the Cowboys and go to a team who knows how to utilize him. Because Dallas don't know how to utilize Dak. They don't know what they have in Dak. They got a guy who can win you some games and probably potentially win a Super Bowl, but you're not going to get there because your defense sucks and your O-line is terrible. Now, albeit Travis Frederick retired their center, but still, you guys were supposed to fill that void. Y'all just basically like, whatever. Dak can deal with it. Man, Dak ain't gonna make it. Because that defense the Falcons had, that's not even the best defense, man. But that offensive line, man, they didn't allow a lot of sacks, but they allowed a lot of hits. And when you allow a lot of hits on your quarterback, those hits accumulate, man. It's like boxing. If you caught it right to your abdomen or you caught it in your liver, you gonna feel that pain throughout the whole fight. You gonna feel it. That pain don't go away. Dak waking up hurting today. So you guys have to do better. You guys talking about you want to make him your franchise quarterback. He ain't going to make it to see a franchise day or a big contract if y'all keep letting him get sprayed like that. And you think Andy Dalton going to come in and do something, man? Not behind that line? Okay, good luck. If you think Andy Dalton going to come in and ball out, Andy Dalton, he was trash in Cincinnati and he's going to be trash there. Dak is better than him. When Dak came back in the game, everybody was happy because if Dalton would have stayed in the game like that, Dalton would have got killed. Now, if Dalton was filling in a week like he had preparation time, he would probably do better. They would have Dalton like throw the ball quick to get it out into the playmaker's hands. Now, the Falcons have always been chokers. They've always choked. What's different now? ATL choke, ATL choke, ATL choke. They always choking. They always choke. They choked the Super Bowl away. And this is why they choke. You stopped running the ball. You kept throwing the ball as if you were down. You weren't down. All Dallas needed to do was hold you to field goals and hold you some possessions not even getting field goals. And they did that. With that terrible defense, when they start bringing pressure and blitzes in the second half, you guys look lost. Y'all look like, Coach, what we do? What we do, Coach? What we do, Coach? Y'all let Zeke run all over y'all. Y'all let Dak take over the game on y'all. Just killed y'all corners. It's like, come on, dog. Like, what is y'all doing, man? Atlanta, you guys, my brother picked you guys to be a surprise team. You guys have been nothing but a joke, a choke, and a joke. You guys played so terrible in the second half, it's not even funny. Then you didn't jump on the ball. Dallas didn't win this game. Y'all choked this game. Y'all gave them that game. Dallas should be 0-2, getting ready to be 0-3 playing the Seahawks. Now you done gave them life. So now Dallas has confidence going into next week, which I don't know why, because they looked terrible. I wouldn't be confident after that game. I would be pissed. And now the Falcons did two great things. They stopped the special teams when they tried to do the little punt fake. They stopped that. That was good. I love that. The Falcons and everything, man. I still think the Falcons can pull off some wins, but I don't see them doing anything, man. Their coach needs to be fired. Quinn should have been fired after that Super Bowl debacle. He should have been let go. Maybe I'm too harsh, but I would have let him go. Down, you cannot lose a 28-3 lead. You can't have a 28-3. You can't lose a 28-3 lead. You can't lose a lead where you're up 20-0. And then Julio dropped the ball that would have put them up 30-17. He dropped the ball. He on the sideline trying to be mad. What you mad for, Negro? You dropped the ball. The coach ain't dropped it. You dropped it. Oh man, all these athletes, man, they so retarded, man, at times, man. But those other receivers, man, Julio, man, I would ship Julio off because you got Calvin Ridley, Hurst, and Gage. Them three receivers was killing the Cowboys. They were killing the Cowboys. They were killing their secondary. Now, the bright spot for the Cowboys is this. What am I saying? Ain't no bright spot. Dallas in trouble. But because they're in the NFC least, the Skins lost yesterday. The Eagles lost. I think the Giants lost. Did the Giants? Yeah, the Giants lost. They lost Saquon too for the year, which is gonna hurt them in the long run. So their season done. You know, their season is over with. Who they lost to? Who the Giants lost to, man? Oh yeah, they lost to the Chicago Bears. Bear down, baby, beat them. But Atlanta and Dallas, man, this game was a D, man. It showed you how bad that these teams need preseason. I think if Dallas had a preseason, I think they would have started out better. I think Atlanta would have learned how to close a little better with preseason. They would know who they would use to close and who they would use in big situations. So, but to me, man, I just don't see this Dallas team. They could win the East, but if the Eagles, let's say they put Hurts in and he go on a run, that'll be dangerous. Wentz could turn it around. Wentz still has time to turn it around, guys. It's only been 2 games. Now, if they go 0-3 or 0-4, then yeah, they're in trouble. They're in trouble next week. But fans are overreacting. You know, I understand fans want something to be a certain way, but hey, we don't run the teams. We got to deal with who the owners are, who the GM is. But this game was a D. Atlanta choked this game, and they should have jumped on the ball. Idiots. Todd Gurley, he looks okay, but he looks a step slow. He looks like he's about done. They need to also give him the ball a little more if he's going to be out there, to me, to see if he's done or not. I would let him run the ball a little more. You know, you just giving him a little bit of the carries. That's not going to help. That's the problem. The year that the Falcons went to the Super Bowl, y'all were balanced. Y'all had a lot of run, and y'all had multiple backs running, and y'all had Matt Ryan playing at a high level. And your defense was playing at a high level. So the defense is there, but late in games, you guys choked, man. Y'all guys had a bad game. So to me, I see Atlanta being number 3 in the NFC South. Basically the Bucks and the Saints are going to win out that division. The Saints might win it, and the Bucks number 2 the way it's looking. But I got to see the Saints tonight and see if they put up that same performance last week. They're playing in Las Vegas. That's going to be a tougher game. They're outdoors. So, we're going to see that game tonight, and I'm going to give you a full report and recap on that game afterwards. Now, let's see. Let's see now. What was the next game? And shout out to the Jaguars and shout out to my dog Rick Goldmouth Turner. His Jags, man, they looking good. They just couldn't pull that win off yesterday. All right, let's see. What other games? Okay, here we go. 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 Baltimore and Houston. The Texans and Big Trust. Woo woo. Big Trust went out there and handled their business. This is a perfect stat line from Lamar Jackson. 18 for 24, 204 yards. Look at his attempts. He had 24 attempts. He managed the game because you know why? He relied on his running game. Lamar Jackson is playing old school quarterback on you idiots. Why y'all so busy looking at Mahomes struggle yesterday because he likes to do all these big numbers and arcade numbers. Why you watch all these other quarterbacks throw for all these yards and lose. Lamar Jackson just played a calm game. He managed the game. And he made some great throws that put him in position to score. Especially that throw he threw, what was it? Who was it to? He threw a nice little touchdown pass. He threw it to Ricard. That was nice where Ricard fell. He fell on the goal line and got up and got in the end zone. That was nice how he threw that one. I also liked the 2-point conversion he threw. And I like the throws he was throwing to Marquise. Him and Hollywood Brown are basically had that tandem going. He was hitting Brown. He was hitting Boykin and them, Sneed. He was and Andrews and J.K. Dobbins was running over. Lamar Jackson picked the Texans apart. Lamar Jackson is on his way to having another MVP season. But right now, he's number 2 behind Russell Wilson. I'm going to talk about that game next. And I believe he's right behind Cam Newton. I believe Russ 1, Cam 2, and then I got Lamar Jackson right now to me as the top MVP candidates. Now, it could change with Drew Brees tonight. Drew Brees could ball out tonight and change all that. Okay? I'm not leaving Drew Brees out of it. Now, this game here was about ball control. Who can control the ball more? Who can hold on to the ball? Who can play better defense? Early on, the Texans played real good defense on Lamar. They were flustering him, but he still was playing with the calm. He still was getting the ball out. He still was getting his runs. He basically had 16 carries for 54 yards. Mark Ingram had 9 carries for 55. Dobbins had 2 for 48, and then Gus Edwards, he was killing them the whole night. 10 carries for 73. That's how you win the game. That's how you win the game. Time of possession. That's how Baltimore won this game. They won the game with time of possession. That's how this game was won. I'm trying to see the time of possession. Now, the time of possession, I'm still looking for it. But the Ravens clearly won it. They won the time of possession. Let's see if they have it here. They won the time of possession that they kept the ball from the Texans offense and moving, even if they didn't get in field goal range at times or in scoring position, they basically just took the life out of the Texans. The Texans look done, man. I mean, this game basically showed you that one team just does not belong in the same breath as the other team. You know, Lamar Jackson, this offense is run first and then pass. And that's why I love the Ravens. The Ravens play old school ball, just like the Titans do. The Titans run the ball. They're going to keep running the ball. They'll have Tannehill throw some passes here and there, but they're going to control that clock. And when you play the Ravens, you have to control the clock. The defense, Humphrey and Peters, oh my gosh, those guys are ball hawks. And they beat up everybody. They beat up all the receivers. Patrick Queen, the pickup, the rookie, man, he has been playing outstanding at linebacker. That's all they were missing, that inside backer. Calais Campbell's getting his pressure, which was a big pickup from Jacksonville. Big pickup. You know, you also have McPhee. McPhee was good. Matt Judon, he was okay. He was getting pressure. Didn't get a lot of sacks. Got pressure. Tyus Bowser got a sack. Chuck Clark, that secondary look a lot better without Earl Thomas, man. Earl Thomas was the problem, man. So, you know, that he was the problem. Big time. So, but time of possession, I can't find it, but they had the ball more. Deshaun Watson, man, he did the best he could, but he don't have anybody out there, man. He don't have anybody out there. He threw for 25 of 36 for 275, a TD. His running game was non-existent. David Johnson was a bad pickup. They should never have traded DeAndre Hopkins. Brandon Cooks, Cobb had some catches. Fells got a touchdown. Atkins got some receptions. I mean, this team is just bad. Defensively, Cunningham, I like Cunningham, but he's your safety. He shouldn't have the most tackles. J.J. Watt did the best he could, man. He got two big sacks and a couple tackle for losses. He was disruptive all night, but they just ran away from him. The defense is a mess, man. This game, I give it a C, because the Texans just didn't show up. The Ravens showed up, so they get an A, and the Texans get an F. So that's why the game is a C. Bill O'Brien needs to be fired. I mean, I've been saying this for 2 years now. I don't know when they're going to listen to me, but he needs to be fired. He needs to be fired ASAP because, man, he is terrible. And the plays that they run is so predictable. It's so predictable. You know. So it's just terrible to watch the Texans play, man. Like, why would you give up DeAndre Hopkins? Like, why? You could have found the running back somewhere. You could have went and drafted a running back. So, you know, this here is just terrible to watch this bad of football from the Texans. The Texans had so much promise. Now, and this is why that Deshaun Watson is going to end up being like Phillip Rivers. He's going to have a great career as far as individual stats, making plays, but his teams are never going to be good enough to get him to the Super Bowl or to the conference finals, to the AFC conference championship. I mean, it's just the facts. It's the facts. And I think a lot of times we just don't want to hear the facts unless they change some things with that offense, with that team, or get rid of Bill O'Brien. Man, they done. They are done, man. It's gonna be trouble, man, for the Texans, man. The Texans might end up being fourth. I think the Jaguars are better than them. I know the Titans are better and the Colts are better than me. So to me, I see this team not winning about. I don't think they'll win 5 games. I don't even think they might get to 6. This Texans team is terrible, and Baltimore showed it. And Baltimore showing it. They showed and exposed the Texans for what they are. They're just a mediocre team. They're garbage. Deshaun Watson's the only bright spot on that team, but he's getting hit too much. He got hit 11 times in the game. That ties his most. They don't have an O-line. Their running game is trash. The receivers run their routes half-assed. This team is done. If I'm DeAndre Watson, man, Deshaun Watson, I'm looking, man, to try to get a trade somewhere else. Get the hell up out of there. Because it looked like the Texans owner just is not going to get rid of Bill O'Brien. Bill O'Brien has destroyed this franchise. He has. He destroyed this franchise. And I don't know how long it's going to take for them to get better. How are they going to get back? I don't think they will. Now, enough of that BS game. The last game was the best game of the day. The New England Patriots versus the Seattle Seahawks. Cam Newton is back. Cam Newton is going to be a problem this year. And at the end, I'm upset with the call because they should have did a fake. They should have did a play action fake or a fake spread option, a spread option pass. That's what they should have done. And that corner of the end zone would have been open because they would have been on the run because Cam kept running all night. But the down the stretch, the Patriots got predictable. It's like they were afraid to try to pass the ball a lot with Cam. Cam he went 30 for 44, had 397 yards, a TD and a pick, 11 carries, 47 yards. Sony Michel got to get the ball more. Burkhead, and you got to rotate these running backs to see. But what messed him up was James White wasn't there because his father died. And our prayers go out to James White, man, because that's tough. I lost my father 2-3 years ago. It's very tough when you lose the man you look up to, the man you look like and you want it to be like your whole life. And it's tough, but he was really missing in this game because there could have been some plays he could have came in, mixed it up, and helped them win. So to me, this shows me that the Patriots have a chance to win the division. I think they have a chance to beat the Bills. I think they could beat the Bills. I don't think it's going to be a sweep. I think it's going to be a split between both those teams. But we know that both teams are going to beat the Jets and the Dolphins. They should sweep them and get rid of them because the Dolphins aren't that good and the Jets aren't that good. But the Dolphins are looking they're looking better each week. They're still young. You know, they still have to develop, they still have to get guys right and get them in position to win. So, but this game came down to who wanted it more. and the Seahawks wanted it more. Russell Wilson is continuing to show you that he's the best quarterback in the league, and he's the best quarterback in the league right now. He played like the best player. Russ threw 21 for 28, 288 yards. He threw a pick six first play of the game because it bounced off Greg Olsen's hands. Bounced off his hands. He tipped the ball up, and after that, man, it was over. He wasn't going back to Greg Olsen. Olsen was pulled because Olsen had a terrible game. But Russ had 5 TDs and had a pick. But other than that, man, Russ played a manageable game. He played great. The running game was good. Chris Carson got 17 carries for 72 yards. Russ also contributed with 29 rushing yards. So did Carlos Hyde with 29. In the receiving, DK Metcalf destroyed Stephen Gilmore last night. He gave Gilmore fits. And DK Metcalf is that number one guy that Russ needs, that big body receiver who can get up there and make plays. Tyler Lockett did his best Edelman and Welker impression, catching underneath, catching the mid-range throws, being able to stretch the defense as well. He made some big plays. So, that was great, to see. That was great to see, and they played a good game. David Moore caught some. Defensively, Quentin Dunbar got a pick on Cam. That was a kind of a bad throw by Cam, but Cam trying to make a play. Defensively, Jamal Adams was everywhere on the field, hidden, and he was a big upgrade. That defense looked a lot better with him back there. They still have to work on some holes. Like Jamal Adams, I would keep him in the box. He's not really a deep safety. He's not a great cover safety. He's more of a in the box safety. And you have to respect that. Shaquille Griffin, shout out to him from St. Petersburg, Florida, baby, the Bird. And he did good defending. He played the best he could. Bruce Irvin, I believe, got hurt, a serious injury. We'll see how he is today. I mean, they got Trey Flowers got hurt too, so they got a decent team, man. The Seahawks, I could see them winning the whole thing this year. I really could. Now the Patriots, Edelman, Bird, and N'Keal Harry made some big catches down the stretch. I believe they should throw early on with Cam more. Like, I don't know why people feel like they're so shocked about yesterday. I wasn't shocked. Cam Newton has been doing this since Carolina. It's just that Carolina didn't have no receivers. They didn't have no good coaching staff or offensive coordinator who can coach him. Except for that MVP season. I forgot that coordinator's name, but that was the best offensive coordinator he's had. And Cam is throwing the ball with precision. He's throwing the perfect passes. He's complete. He's being a leader, and he's showing you that he's not done. All these analysts were saying, oh, he's done. Oh, his shoulder, he can't stay healthy. It's like, dog, he played for Carolina. Look what Carolina's doing now. That same team, look what they're doing. They're trash, right? They're trash, right? Yeah, they're trash right now. Because that's what Cam was dealing with. And you guys didn't give him nobody. Now you guys done hurt Chris McCaffrey because you're doing the same thing with him you're trying to do with Cam, which is run him into the ground. That's pitiful. So Cam Newton is showing you guys he is the top 8. He is in my top 8 or 7 best quarterbacks of all time. He's played with the least talent of anybody. Next to Donovan McNabb, he has played with the most least talented supporting cast ever, as well as Tom Brady. Everybody else played with a supporting cast. And for him not to get any respect from you, it is you guys put Eli Manning over Cam Newton, which is ridiculous. I'm like, dude, give Cam Newton the Giants and that coaching staff. Cam wins the same amount of Super Bowls. What you talking about? What you talking about, huh? You guys don't make any sense, man. You guys have always hated Cam Newton, especially the media. The media pissed me off because now all of a sudden they're like, man, Cam look good. No, don't hop on the Cam train now because I knew Cam was going to be straight. Don't hop on the train now. Because you guys said Cam Newton wasn't going to be that great. Y'all said that he wasn't all that. Y'all said that he can't throw when he's always been a great thrower of the ball. He just never had the receivers or the line or the offensive coordinators or the head coaches that know how to handle the offense, that knows how to move the ball. Josh McDaniels, I kept telling y'all, he wanted Cam Newton because he knows Stidham ain't that guy. He was like, man, Stidham, man, look, Bill, we need to bring in Cam. I'm not going this season with Stidham. And that's the facts. But what if this is Belichick's last year and he leaves next year and they give the franchise to McDaniels? What if that happens? What if he keeps Cam on for a long term? Because I could see Cam staying in New England. If not, I could see him going to Atlanta. They get rid of Matt Ryan. They bring him in. Or they could bring him to Indianapolis. They could bring him to the other places. And that's the facts. That's the facts. Cam Newton played a great game, but I don't want to take away from Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson is a guy who doesn't get enough credit. And Belichick said it best. Russell Wilson is underrated. And he showed you yesterday he's underrated. For years, you guys have disrespected this man, saying he's not top 5, he ain't 10, the Legion of Boom carried him. He had to carry the Legion of Boom some games because they gave up some big plays. He had to come out there and make the plays to win. Then you guys was like, Marshawn Lynch is carrying him. And I've been guilty of that at times. I have been. I thought that, Russell was a good quarterback. I didn't know he would be this great. I didn't. Until I believe it was when it was that Super Bowl against the Broncos where they blew the Broncos out. They beat Peyton Manning ass. They don't never want to bring that up. They just want to bring up Peyton winning his second title. But the Legion of man, he was picking that Broncos defense apart. Von Miller was trying to get to him. He was breaking the tackle, gutting him. Tyler Lockett, Baldwin was killing him. Marshawn was running all over him. So, Russell Wilson played the greatest game. To me, he is the MVP front runner right now with Cam Newton number 2. And I got, and we'll see, and Lamar Jackson number 3 right now. We'll see what Drew Brees does tonight. Pat Mahomes didn't do too good the first 2 weeks to me. To me, he's not looking that great. Tyreek Hill saved him yesterday. Everyone was telling me. But tell me what you like. Tell me what you like. What's been the biggest surprise? Like, who do you have winning it all? I have the Seahawks coming out of the NFC. I believe they will. Now, the LA Rams, I would worry about them, but they played 2 NFC East teams, man. Come on, they ain't nobody. Cowboys and Eagles want no test, so I still got the Cardinals and I got the Seahawks over them. Now, we'll see the rest of the way. The Bucks, Brady looked all right, man, but it's gonna be a long season for the Bucks. But I still think they can make the playoffs. I don't see them winning it this year. I see them winning it next year. I think after the season, they'll get rid of Bruce Arians. They'll bring in a real coach who can work with Brady. They might get rid of him sooner if he keep talking that trash. Aaron Rodgers, he looked it good, but he started off slow. He started getting his throws out because Aaron Jones, who doesn't get any respect, nobody gives him props, has been running all over the league the first 2 weeks. He's been balling, but he don't get any love. But that's just how it is. So thank you for listening. I know this is a long video. If you stayed around to listen to it, thank you. I will be doing Monday Night Football tonight. And I will be recapping the Lakers and Denver game 2. I already did the first 3 games of the Miami Heat series with the Boston Celtics. I will be doing the Lakers and Nuggets tonight. I will be talking about them. I'm watching the game as I was giving my commentary. So please like, comment, subscribe, share this. Donate to the page. You can cash at me at Harry2. That's HARRY2. Again, if you want to donate to the page, cash at me at Harry2, HARRY2. And like I said, if you don't donate, please like, comment, subscribe, share to everybody and let them know. Hit the notification bell so you can receive upcoming content. And we out, man. Live boy.